I'm Father Tom Koys, and this is the book I wrote, The Ashes That Still Remain. It's available at www.cmjbooks.com. People always ask authors, why did you write the book you wrote? And I'd like to share with you my reasons for writing The Ashes That Still Remain. You see, at one point in my life, I was told by some pretty higher ups in the church, Father Koys, you're too rigid on the right to life. You may never be a pastor if you don't soften up and give up your crusade about the right to life. I was a little disappointed and depressed, as you might gather. And at that moment, at that time in my life, I thought, well, how else can I approach the issue and come at it from a different angle? At that time in my life, I was getting interested in the American Civil War. The famous movie Gettysburg had just come out, and I watched the movie Gettysburg. I am now, but I was not always a Civil War fanatic. To illustrate how non-Civil War buff I was, when I started to watch the movie Gettysburg that first time, I remember asking the question to my friends with whom I was sitting. I said, who wins this battle, the North or the South? Now, if you're a Civil War buff or anything American history buff, you'll know that that's a pretty dumb question to ask, because it was one of the most important Union victories in the Civil War. It really did turn the tide, as it were. Anyways, years later, now I can consider myself a Civil War buff, and I'm quite confident about who won almost all the battles that are famous. Anyways, as I got to read more about the American Civil War, I stumbled on the Dred Scott decision. You have to read the Supreme Court decision. Chief Justice Taney wrote the decision which made the black person a non-person. It made a black slave a non-person, which means he has no civil rights, obviously. As I was reading the Dred Scott decision, I was brought back to my reading of the Roe versus Wade decision. Read the two, my friends, back to back, and you will find that you are almost reading the same arguments, the same reasoning, the same words are used, except change one concept, the concept of the black person, and replace it with the unborn, and you have the same thing. And this is a great reason why we are facing another civil war again today. Sides lined up on both sides. However, those who lift up pro-choice politicians, like our immediate past president, President Obama, those who lift up pro-choice politicians, especially because they are advocates of the dismantling of racism in society, are not really following in the footsteps of Abraham Lincoln. Those who are defending abortion today are following in the footsteps of those who defended slavery in the years gone by. Why? Because they are covering over the issue of what a human being, what a human personhood, what a human person is. The idea of personhood is ignored. Those folks, if you're one of them, need, as the young folks say, to be woke. I'm Father Tom Koys. Thanks for listening.